Hi everyone. Here in Module 9, we discuss some of the barriers we would encounter when implementing our action plan for leadership development. All of you gave specific examples in your particular setting, and I was struck by the level of thoughtfulness that you demonstrated. For some, those barriers tended to be structural. What are the ways that the organization is designed? That's a structural barrier. Perhaps another one is, how does it function that prohibit the plan from taking place? Another way to look at it, or another way to look at structure, is a question of where along the hierarchy and the functions of the organization are you most likely to encounter the resistance to your plan? And really, what does this resistance look like? Is that resistance manifested in one person, a group of people that have apprehensions for whatever reason? Maybe the resistance is a process that needs to be challenged. For others, the barriers are what I'd call more relational or communicative in nature, where the bottleneck is the communication ability of those people who are affected. For these type of barriers, I'm glad that some of you talked about the importance of clarifying the mission and ensuring that the vision that results from implementing the action plan is clearly understood. You know, the idea that vision is constructed from within, it's really a big step in overcoming any negative perceptions from people. Think back to one of our exemplary practices of leadership, because this barrier reminds us to inspire a shared vision. You know, what are the hopes and dreams of others in your plan? Have those hopes and dreams been accounted for? If people cannot see themselves as important for the future of the organization, they're less likely to be on board. And so an important role for the leader is to always work on communication and continual engagement of others in a way that speaks to other people personally. For all the discussion we've had about barriers to executing an action plan, what I find interesting is the factors that influence that plan moving forward. The idea of culture is something that's implicit in many of these responses, and so this culture idea leads to one question. How do you actually define a leadership culture? I bring you back to one of the foundational authors on the subject of organizational culture, a person named Edgar Schein. He wrote the book, Organizational Culture and Leadership, and Schein described a model for cultural change that needs to recognize that there's this element of fear in the process of change, or, for our case, implementing an action plan. That fear of change can be a loss of identity or affiliation for some people. So, for example, if a change happens, a response from somebody could be, what happens to my job, or what happens to my function? It's a common fear. So, alleviating anxieties and fears in people are just some of the many factors that Schein discussed. And one principle that stands out is this idea from Schein, who said that the action plan should be small, concrete goals and objectives, rather than the plan for change being an entire cultural change. In fact, the whole idea is that culture change is the direct result of a series of small changes over time. So what is a leadership culture? Well, I think in doing what you all are doing within your respective settings, you're doing that. It's all those little things that in the aggregate, when you look back in retrospect, you say you helped build that. How you communicate, how you foster change, how you employ the exemplary practices of modeling the way, inspiring a shared vision, challenging the process, empowering others to act, and encouraging the heart. All those exemplary practices play a part in it. There's a concept from the Inuit culture, I think I've shared this before, that describes the role of a leader. And I think what's important, it's really apropos to what we've been all talking about this week. The word that's associated with leadership in the Inuit culture is isumatak. And it's defined as the person who creates the atmosphere in which wisdom can reveal itself. Another way to think about this is it's the person who creates the conditions where the collective wisdom of the community or organization can flourish. Think about that definition for each of your organizations, whether those are schools, whether those are associations, businesses, or even official public entities and services. Does your leadership plan that you're drafting account for the wisdom, the talent, the skills, the energies that exist already? And how do you, as a leader, build those structures, those processes, and actions to make all those things occur? Well, all those things are going to be the focus of your final assignment. But for now, and as always, finish up any discussion you need on this module, and I'll see you all online.